Nerd Box.
Welcome to the Popcorn Confessional, where my wife and I invite you on a double date. Sort of. And this week we're going to talk about The Wrath of Man. Now, if this is the movie that you think you're going to get with Jason Statham, you're wrong. And we're going to talk about that in the booth. So fire up the Jiffy Pop.
What booth?
The confessional booth.
No, I'm not Catholic.
Hater. We'll see you right after this.
Wrath of Man, which is what we saw, stars Jason Statham as Patrick Hill. And he teams with Guy Ritchie after 15 long years for their third film together. The film also stars Scott Eastwood. Yes, Eastwood. That is the son of Clint. Looks just like him, too. Josh Hartnett. I know, where's he been, right? Andy Garcia and Jeffrey Donovan.
Now, the film opens on an armored car robbery, where we see from the perspective of inside the armored car and can hear the plan unravel as shots are being fired in the background. And over the criminals' radios, we hear someone shout out, "Number one just shot a kid."
Patrick Hill, nicknamed H, is a stone-cold focused person who's hired to work for the Fortico Armored Truck Company, where his isolated demeanor quickly turns off the tight-knit fraternity-like team that he'll be working with. He is paired with Dave Hartnett, not you, and Bullet Holt McElhaney for his training, and soon learns that the armored car company was actually previously held up in prior months and ended in tragedy.
Ever notice how Dave's in every movie?
Yes, and he's never like the good guy or like the nice. He's always annoying.
No,
he is.
No.
The Dave is. Tell me I'm wrong, people. The Dave is always the annoying ass in the.
So, one day during a pickup, Bullet is taken hostage while H and Dave are waiting in the armored car outside. Now, the criminals radio back to the armored car saying that if they do not hand over the contents of the armored car, they're going to execute Bullet. H talks to a panicky Dave, not me, I'd be cool in the situation, into ignoring the company policy, which is lock up the doors, let's drive away. They're not going to shoot the guy. They want the money. H talks him into following the instructions of the robbers.
So they drive into an ambush where they're to trade millions of dollars for Bullet's life. Only H turns the tides on the armored car robbers and takes out each one with precision only Jason Statham can handle. His swift action quickly makes him a hero amongst his crew and earns him a promotion from the owner of the company.
Man, I wish there was promotions handed out like that.
Right?
That easy.
I'll shoot somebody to get a promotion.
It's not until later in the film that we find out that H applied to the armored car company because the story that Dave told on his first day was actually tied to his son tragically dying on that same day during that robbery. And his sole intent is to find the man that is behind the trigger of that gun that shot him down.
I wouldn't want to be that guy.
So, what did you think?
Okay, so, pros of the movie, there was definitely a lot of blood and gunfire. Well, I mean, yeah, there was a decent amount of blood. There was a lot of gunfire. There was a lot of gunfire. And you get to see Jason Statham kick ass, which is like what he's best at. He's awesome. And he gets a couple of lines in there that that you hear in most every film, his little dry humor, which I love. Not enough of it in this film, though, in my opinion. Could have used more of it. Cons, probably some of the acting was I don't know. Not Jason Statham, but some of the other actors, kind of a joke. I didn't think that the acting was that great for some of them.
I'm going to have to disagree with you. So, We get the what you expect Jason Statham delivery in like maybe the first 10 to 15 minutes of the film, and that's it.
I said we didn't get enough of it.
I know that, but I'm just saying it was very limited.
Okay,
maybe one scene.
Okay, I said that.
One scene.
I said we didn't get enough of it.
But I didn't really need to see that again.
I like that.
You're a woman. It's Jason Statham. He's good looking. I can understand that.
He's hot.
No. Yeah. So, listen. We don't need him to turn into the next Steven Seagal, and you don't need to go into. You don't need to. Look, that's your parents' movie. That's my parents' movie. We don't need to go to every single movie with Jason Statham expecting him to throw kicks around and hi-yas and all this other bullshit.
I wasn't expecting that. I'm saying I like his one-liners. That's what I like.
His one-liners are okay.
I don't care about him kicking people.
Look, Seagal had those too.
Seagal hit women.
A few moments later.
Look, we're not talking about personal lives. We're talking about on-screen.
And he wasn't attractive.
Again, talking about on-screen, it was the 80s. Women were different back then. They liked that type of thing.
They liked ugly men?
2 hours later.
It was popular. I don't know why. People still watch his movies today. Let's move on. So, the typical Jason Statham that you would expect, we saw in one scene with the delivery and lines, and there was no martial arts.
No, there was no martial arts. He was just, kicking ass. That's
This is the Jason Statham that I would have to say was darker.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't want to piss him off, or if you ever wanted to see a rabid animal, kind of reminded me of a rabid animal.
Oh, you killed his young.
And he's calculated.
Yes.
So, seeing these two guys back together, Guy Ritchie and Jason Statham, not the best follow-up to The Gentleman, which is an amazing film. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Definitely.
You'll watch it over and over. I think I've seen it 10, 15 times already.
Yes. I might watch it again.
But it's the first time that these two guys have been back together for 15 years, and we don't get to see Jason Statham doing what we've come to see in Homefront and The Mechanic and Safe and all these other movies. This is Jason Statham and Guy Ritchie, completely different type of film.
Yes.
Decent drama, different type of Jason Statham. Guy Ritchie, I probably have to say this is probably one of his darker films compared to Snatch, Gentleman, and
where that was just a lot of Snatch was a lot of jokes and shooting. It wasn't.
Here is where the step down is for me for a Guy Ritchie film. The dialogue was maybe 2 or 3 steps down from what I expect in a Guy Ritchie film.
Well, I have to say, at least I could understand them in this movie, because I couldn't understand a friggin' word in Snatch, and I've tried to watch it 3 times.
That was Snatch, but if you look at this versus The Gentleman, much smoother in delivery when it comes to dialogue.
Which was?
Gentleman.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I had to look it up. 70 armored car robberies a year. And this film kind of stressed it where, hey, on Black Friday, which is the climax of the scene, that's when it takes place, be safe. Take different routes from where you go to get to the place to where you're coming back from the location. See anything suspicious? Radio it in. So I'm like, is this a thing in this country where, people are getting robbed that much in armored car robberies? No, it isn't. 70 a year. 20% of them happen in Houston and not where this film takes place, which is in Los Angeles.
To have all those trucks running and try to rob all of them because the traffic has got to be insane. I mean, LA traffic is just nuts to begin with. Could you imagine on Black Friday?
Yeah. Oh my God, on Black Friday in Los Angeles. I had to look that up just to see how accurate that piece of information was.
Well, so it was embellished for a film.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which is fine. It's a film. Things are embellished.
If it was in Houston, it would have made more sense. If it was in Boston, I would have bought a little bit more after seeing The Town, because The Town was about similar things. But let's get to the rating system. So what do you think?
So I'm going to give this film an A.
An A?
Yes.
An A? The last review we talked about giving out A+, and now you're giving out another A.
I gave an A+ to the last one.
It's because Jason Statham's in the movie.
I mean, he helps.
Oh, for me, that's a whole letter grade above. I'm giving it a B.
Okay, but what if it was Mila Kunis? You'd give it an A.
No, I'd still give it a B.
You're a liar.
No, I'm not. The bar for me for Guy Ritchie films is The Gentleman right now. So if I have to compare it to that, this is a solid B.
Okay, but see, I would give The Gentleman an A+. So I'm going to give Wrath of Man an A.
Okay.
I mean, The Gentleman had Charlie Hunnam. Come on, ladies, am I right? So he still ranks higher than Jason Statham.
Okay. Whatever. But it's a solid B for me. I think the dialogue was a little bit lacking. The story at some points was a little confusing with the way they laid it out.
No, he didn't read the screen. He got all thrown off because they went back in time and he was confused as usual because he didn't read the screen. Read the screen when it says 5 months earlier. I had to explain this to him in the theater.
If I blink, I shouldn't be lost.
You didn't
That's
blink. It was on the screen.
Later.
Read. No.
It was gone.
Nope, it wasn't. And they actually titled
3 days later.
She gives it an A. I give it a B.
Because he doesn't pay attention.
It's still a B. If you like Den of Thieves, if you like Sicario, if you like The Town, mash these all up. You're getting a good film. Check it out in the theaters. You know, especially.
By the way, I give all those movies an A too. So.
I don't think so. But anyway, so check it out in the theaters. Remember to support your theaters because they're opening up all across the country now. Be respectful of those that are going to the theater, and let's keep those theaters open.
And be quiet.
Until then, we'll catch you on the next.
See ya.